I'll hand it over to the moderator of this session, that is Daniel, so that we can start and the rest will find us along the way. So Dan, I hand it over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matilda, and good morning, everyone. So just to get us started, just go to the chat, just tell us the location where you are. We just want to know those who are within Nairobi, and if it's Nairobi, just write Langata, Nairobi, or South B, Nairobi, so that we can have a feeling of where we are, so that we know, as much as here in Karen it's shiny, maybe you are somewhere the weather is not that conducive. So my name is Daniel. I'm the business coach here at Tangaza University College. We run an MBA program on social entrepreneurship, and I help actually the entrepreneurs be able to come up with their business plans for their projects, and will also work with them in terms of helping them to grow their businesses or getting their business from one level to another. So just write your name and tell us the location where you are at the chat as we start. Yeah, thank you. Yes, Javan is at Loitoktok. Wow, that's quite a distance from here. Javan, are you traveling? Are you traveling to Tanzania? Or
No.
You're just visiting. Loitoktok. Okay, I can see Bill. Bill is in Karen. Yeah, Bill Koech Sesok. Yeah, Bill is in the office actually, downstairs. Chole Mlenga Makadara, yeah, great. That is in Eastlands. Nduko is here in Langata. Awesome. I'm still waiting for Catherine. Eve is in Kiambu. Wow. Eve is in Kiambu. So we have like three counties represented so far.
Hello, Daniel.
Yes, Catherine.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Long time
no see.
Long time no see, but it's good we are meeting.
Yes.
I've not been able to take part in other talks, and I'm happy to be here today.
Awesome.
I'm all the way in Muiga, Nyeri County.
You're in Muiga, Nyeri County.
Yes.
Great. Yeah,
Thank you.
That is so we have Nairobi, we have Nyeri County, we have Loitoktok is in which county? Kajiado?
Yes, Kajiado County.
It's in Kajiado County, yeah. And then we have Kiambu County, Eve from Kiambu. Awesome. So welcome everyone. We are just going to start because of our time. I'd like to appreciate and to thank you all for joining in wherever you are. It's such an honor and privilege to be able to moderate this session. I know it's a very interesting session that really affected all of us, those who are entrepreneurs, and also those who are employed, because we had other organizations actually, retrenching some of their employees because of the financial difficulties they were going through. So it is and we are still in that moment. Actually, we are still undergoing through the COVID-19 moment, but as businessmen and as entrepreneurs. So the topic today is very clear, how we have been able to navigate these murky waters during this time. And today we have our panel. So we have Javan. Javan will be one of our panelists today. I'm not going to introduce them, but they're going to do it by themselves. We also have, let me see, Victorian Solutions, Travel Solutions. And then we have Javan is running a company called Palm Consultants. So we have also Victorian Solution being run by Mary Nduko. I hope I've gotten the name right. Yeah, Mary Nduko. Mary Wambua, sorry. Mary Wambua. And then we have Dr. Gelda Mukera, who is the founder of Milestone Support and Wellness Center. So from the panel, you can see actually those are some of the areas that really affected us in Kenya during this COVID-19, because when you talk about Victorians travel solutions, we know there were a lot of, that is an industry that was really affected by some of the containment measures from the Ministry of Health. We also, somebody like Dr. Gelda, who is the founder of Milestone and Wellness Center. I presume most of the people went through difficult times. It can be mental problems or just any kind of wellness problem that people went through or stress during those that period. So those are some of the things that we want to discuss. And also businessmen, of course, went through such difficulties. So without much ado, I'd like to start by welcoming my panelists. What they're going to do is just tell us who they are and what they do before we dive into the challenges they went through during the COVID period. So I'll ask my panelists to just say who they are and what they do, what is their business all about. So I'm going to start with Dr. Gelda Mukera, who is the founder of Milestone Support and Wellness Center. So welcome, Gelda. Gelda, unmute yourself. Yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone. Sorry for that.
Yeah.
And so much, Daniel, and everyone for making it today, and also for inviting me. Yeah, as Daniel has said, to my fellow entrepreneurs here, I'm a medical doctor and I'm the founder of Milestone Support and Wellness Center. So who am I? I'm a family physician and I have a bias for mental health and all things wellness. And we are currently located in Nairobi. I think for more details, Javan, as we go along, we can share more as prompted by you probably.
Yes, over to you, Javan.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Javan Okello. I'm a public health consultant. So I'm a co-founder of Sawayume Kenya, which works for water sanitation in Homa Bay County. But then during the pandemic, we also founded now the PAM consultants that now brought Sawayume Kenya under it, and also doing other things in the light of COVID-19 pandemic. We'll hear more as we continue. Thank you very much. Yeah, back to you, moderator.
Thank you very much, Javan. I don't know whether we have Mary Wambua with us.
Mary is having challenges logging in, so continue without her for the time being.
Okay, that's fine. So we are going to dive directly to the first question. So you will tell us, and we'll start with the Daktari. What are some of the challenges you went through or your business faced? It can be your business, it can be you as a person. What are some of those challenges that you faced during the COVID-19 pandemic period?
Thank you so much, Daniel. And I think I will start with the challenges on a personal level before going to the business level. On a personal level, we all know with the pandemic, there was so much unexpected things. So we all had to do so many, to go through a lot of changes, differences in how we usually do things. And even those changes were always uncertain. So all the plans we'd made for the year 2020 on a personal level, basically, many of them had to change within a very short time, and they were changing for more uncertainty. So that affected me, not just personally, but it also trickled now down to my business as well. Because at about the same time, I had just opened my business. I was in the process of trying to decide, what fit where, how to set up the office, which partners to try and get into. So you can imagine what that did. The costs of things went up, the availability of things went up. And even after we opened our doors, we tried to, be as friendly cost-wise as possible. But soon we realized that everyone was actually postponing spending, including on healthcare. So people were waiting, not to come to the facilities or to seek healthcare. So that from the business side was a challenge because it means we were not getting clients. But at the same time, the clients who would come then, we went into negotiation and would accept even less pay, which meant for us a lot of our costs still were going to remain unmet. But then we also realized that the clients were also experiencing many more problems than before. And that is where the idea of mental health really became strong for us, because at first we were just thinking regular primary health care, of course, do a bit some mental health and GBV care. But then more and more, as we saw more and more people coming through the door, we realized that actually mental health is a big problem. So quickly, went back to the drawing board and tweaked the strategy a bit more so that we were more accommodating and including more and more products that address mental health issues and general wellness. So that is how we were affected. And even now, it's not yet, back to normal. We are still struggling. The clients, the nature of our business does not quite allow us to turn away people. So the clients will still come because we've put ourselves out there as, as people who care about health, especially from a mental health perspective. And we do know that if the mental health is not okay, then even as much as we want to talk about other aspects of wellness, then we might not, the person might not actually feel wholesome. So we are still experiencing that. We're still struggling, but we're still trying to look at what else we can do to, to reach more people and still remain sustainable. Back to you, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Mukera, for that introduction and telling us some of the challenges you went through, both at personal level and at business level. So I've just seen that Mary has also joined us, Mary Mbide, and yeah, she has joined us together with the former president, Daniel Arap Moi, the late. Thank you for joining us, both of you. So I'll just go to Javan, and then after Javan, I'll get back to Mary, where Mary will also introduce herself and tell us what business she does and some of the challenges she went through on a personal level and at business level. But for now, we'll just go directly to Javan. Java, guide us through the challenges you went through in your business, and if possible, you can also mention some. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Just like my colleague has talked about the issues that happened during the pandemic, my business is based on two. It's a unique model in that there's part that is purely social enterprise and non-for-profit, and then there's the side that was for profit. So at that time, we were running only the Sawa-Yume Kenya. So we work in rural communities of Homa Bay County, where we would carry out community-led total sanitation. We would mobilize communities and teach them why they need to stop defecating in the bushes, and then help them by providing modern water and sanitation facilities. So we had a model whereby we would teach them and work with the community as volunteers. And then after that, once they've been triggered and informed, then we will provide them with the things like SATO tools and SATO pan and SATO tools that they can use to make their latrine more hygienic. And then we would also provide things like water filters. So for this one, they would pay over time. So we had a model where they would pay in installments. So when COVID-19 struck, we realized that first of all, we weren't allowed to hold public gatherings. So while before we could go to several market areas and bring maybe over 200 people, 300 people, and then market the products and also pass the importance of having clean water and sanitation facilities, now that was done away with. And then the community level of income went down. So many people are not able to afford our products as they were doing. And so the uptake was really going down. So COVID really had an impact on that. But in the process, because we are in the health sector, other opportunities were coming up. Like we realized that initially the government had closed restaurants and they had closed schools and all that stuff. And then now the government was slowly reopening these things. So there was a lot of need for assessment to go and assess the readiness for these institutions for reopening. So we saw an opportunity in that. And so we personally decided to take online classes on these new government regulations, WHO classes on COVID-19, reopening of workplaces. I did some short courses on global health security and all that. And I realized that we were now getting more opportunities in these assessments and in preparedness for prevention of this spread of pandemic. So that's how we decided now to register a consultancy firm, independent of our previous water and sanitation organization. And then now under this consultancy firm, now we reinvented ourselves to be more of a consultancy and training organization. Meanwhile, we are also continuing with the water and sanitation. And now that the country has slightly reopened, we still now do the online, like offline marketing strategies, but for not more than 30 people. But also we took advantage of online platforms. We realized that even though people are in the rural areas, a good number of them, especially the people who make decisions on water and sanitation, were on platforms like social media, platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook. So we did aggressive marketing on our Facebook page and our online WhatsApp adverts and promotions, which are also working. So those are the challenges we faced during the pandemic, and also these are some of the strategies that we used to respond to them. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Javan, for that. So at this time, I want to welcome Mary Mbide. Mary will tell us who she is, what she does, and the challenges she went through during this the pandemic. And as Mary talks, remember the next question will be how are you able to navigate through the challenges you went through? And when you're talking about how you are able to navigate through the challenges, you can chip in a perspective on how are you able to leverage on the knowledge and networks that you have. So think about how you navigated through the challenges and how you capitalized on the knowledge that you've already gained in your field and the networks that you have. So at this time, I would like to welcome Mary Mbide. Tell us who you are and what you do at some of the challenges you went through during that period. Karibu.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mary Wambua, or you can even call me Mary Mbide. I am a travel agent. My company is Victorian Travel Solutions Limited, and thanks so much for many of you because they have already become my clients. What we do air ticketing. You want a ticket, maybe both local and international. We have very good deals. We also organize holiday packages, both local and international. If you want maybe like visas, we have connections with the embassies. We can help you get your visa very fast. Like for Dubai visa, we do it within a day, among many other visas. So we are one-stop travel agency. If you want any help with travel agency, we are just a call away. During the pandemic, it was a very, very tough time for us. Because it's like now we were operating normally and nobody had ever thought of something like COVID, which can affect travel that much. It went to a position where we were selling absolutely nothing. You find there was totally nothing happening in our offices. We headed up even closing the office because now if you are not getting the profit, what are you going to pay the office with? Are you going to take loans to pay for the office which you are not using? That was one of the challenges which really affected us. We headed up just going home, closing the office, going home. Some of us were just maybe making an agreement with the landlord so that they can pay when the pandemic is over. Other landlords could not understand that, so they headed us up, chasing some of us away. Yeah, it was a very tough for us. Another thing was, you find you have employees, and these employees won't pay. And you look at their lives, and some of them are like breadwinners in their homes. Probably their fathers, their wives don't work. It was like, am I going to remove the small investments I have to pay these people so that they can sustain their families? Or am I going to just send them away until this pandemic is over? So that was a bit of challenge for us. We were just heading up, sharing the small thing we have for them. Because sometimes when you employ some people, it's for better for us. Doesn't mean that you just throw them away like that. So that was another challenge. Another challenge we had was, like, for example, when you go to hotels, you find like hotels were having, as in, no one was operating in the hotels at all. So if the hotels are not being taken care of because there are no clients, sometimes we find that the grass grows so much. In the beaches, there were so many, like, for example, another beach in Malindi, there were so many weeds in the beach. So when the pandemic, when people started traveling slowly by slowly, people were complaining to us so much. Why are you sending us to that hotel when there was so much weeds? The room is smelly. I don't know what. And I'm like, it's because this room has not been having anyone to be accommodated. This room has been empty. Nobody has been taking care of it, but people are not understanding. So some of those things can even affect the clients. They are like, this company cannot book us a good hotel. But no, as the time goes by, we are seeing that the hotels are clean and people are going back to normal life, because now at least they have some clients, they can get a bit of some profits to take care of the hotel's environment. Yes, those are some of our challenges we faced during the pandemic. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mary, for drawing such a clear picture of how the travel industry was really affected. And I'd like to go to the next question. Now that you've told us how it affected you, and I'm going to start again with you, Mary. How are you able to navigate through those challenges in terms of, now you had to lay off some of the employees, your business had to shut down for all those several months. How are you able to cope in terms of even sustaining your life as a person?
What happened is, I had one to agree with the employees that this thing will not last forever. In every problem, you find that there is a solution behind. So what we did, we just stayed calm. We prayed for it, and I promised them that when everything goes back, that they are the person who will work for me and nobody else. So what happened is, since the Chiricha police, I cannot pay any of them. I just told them to hold on. And then personally, I diversified. I looked for a business which I can do, which can give me some income, because I'm also in need of money. I need to run my things. I had to look for something. So I started selling soap. I don't know whether majority of you saw me posting some antiseptic soap called Elecept in the group, and people bought it for me very well. So at least I had a small of income. I also went ahead and started selling chicken. Well, I was selling kienyeji chicken. I was ordering it all the way from our up country, and then come and sell it to Nairobians. I was dropping the chickens to their homes. But no, the challenge in that came in when you found that the COVID-19 was at the peak that time, and probably you might deliver those chicken to a family which is affected by COVID, and you end up getting COVID. So when I felt like I have some signs of COVID, and I was told by the doctor not to keep delivering those stuff to people's home. That's when I stopped and I started doing the soap until when now the economy opened up a bit.
So now the soap business is still ongoing, or you've now gone back to your usual business?
You find that business is very fun. You find that when you start a small business, you keep upping the customers who want that kind of product or service. Up to today, I have the clients who always ask for that soap. So that soap is just a call away to the company, and then I have somebody to deliver the soaps to the clients. But that's not the key business, because now the economy opened up. Flights started going both locally and internationally. Hotels are full. Like now, if you check like Voyager, currently I'm in Voyager, the hotel is fully booked. So the business is doing very well. People are traveling. COVID-19 protocols are there. So the business is now okay. We opened the office again. Then my employees are working again. And now I will feel like everything is normal now. Yes, we thank God.
Yeah, we thank God, and thank you for that. So for every person who is joining us and those who have joined late, you can get to our chat. Just tell us your name and the location you are in, and also I'll open also the chats for us to share, because all of us here, we are entrepreneurs and we went through such challenges. So I'd like you just to shortly write who you are and what you do and some of the challenges you faced during COVID-19. Remember, these webinars, they're also a platform for us to interact and network and also do business together. So I'll go to Dr. Mokera with the same question. Daktari, how are you able to navigate through the challenges during that COVID period?
Thank you so much, Daniel. And I also want to thank Mary for sharing so explicitly. And it sounds like a lot of what she did is what some of us also did, because of the similarity in challenges that you are going through in entrepreneurship. So for me, what I did, the location of my business is actually within a hospital premises. I have office space on one of the floors in a hospital. So when I realized that it was becoming difficult, I started to look at how I can leverage that and see what kind of partnership we can go into the hospital with, see what difference I can make in their services. So I chased that. Of course, it was not an easy process, because I mean, the hospital and myself, we are both entrepreneurs. So we had to be careful about, conflict of interest and these kind of things. And I realized, okay, the hospital does not have an explicit mental health care and wellness package that they offer to clients. So based on that, I got into negotiating with them, and we agreed with them finally to give me, like, for us to sign an MOU, where if they have clients who need my kind of services, then those clients can be referred to my office, and then both of us would, we agreed on a percentage that we could split the revenues on. Then apart from that, also I realized, as I'd said before, cash paying clients were very few. And even when they would come, they don't have actually the money to pay even, the fees that had been revised downwards. And the hospital is on several insurance panels, which I had also been trying to get onto for quite some time. In our industry, it's not easy to get onto those panels. So we made another agreement that I could actually see the clients on their panels, again, with the understanding that they keep some of the revenue and I keep some of that. So that is one of the ways that I decided to try and mitigate the lack of paying clients. And it's something that we've only started now. I think it's about 3 months because the negotiation has taken quite some time, but I feel like it's bearing some fruit because we've had a few patients who are now starting to trickle in, and we've put that on our social media pages. We put it in the WhatsApp groups. So we're getting a few inquiries here and there. Then the second thing I did is just became more aggressive in our social media platforms. So at least every week we make sure we post something, and we've decided to just really go big on mental health, because we realize that if we spread ourselves too much, then it might not be easy for us to catch up with everything, because the health service industry is very demanding. So once you market a service, you really need to be able to provide the quality of care when a patient shows up. So we really decided to dive deep into the mental health, and we've been putting messages on our social media platforms. We used to have only Facebook, but we also opened Instagram, we opened a LinkedIn page, and we tried to update our website just to look like, to sort of show people what we are doing. Then the other thing that I also did was now started writing on health and on wellness. And I looked for a link to be able to publish my articles, in the local dailies. And then I put them on my Twitter handle, share them in different WhatsApp groups, just so that people can get to, that connection and engagement with our audience remains. And from there, we've got a few inquiries, and a few of those have actually converted to clients. Then the other thing I did was just taking advantage of any connections, anyone that I know. I keep talking to them about Milestone Support Center and what we're doing and why we're doing it. And from that also, we've been getting a few pointers. I'm chasing, some potential partnerships, some potential applications for funding, some potential, MOUs. So those are some of the things that I did. But despite all that, Daniel, still the costs were still there. Have to pay rent. I had to think of how to pay my staff and sustain them. And just as Mary said, it got to a point where I couldn't manage. So I had to come back now to the office and downsize. I had to let go of some of my team members. It was not a big team from the beginning, but still I had to trim it further because I couldn't afford to pay everyone. And as Mary did also, I had a very candid conversation with everyone and explained the situation. And I also gave the commitment that, should things work out, because we've been together from the beginning, then we shall come back and we'll continue. But the other thing I also did was I embraced more volunteer service. So I tried, I started just reaching out to people. If anyone knows someone who's interested in, working in a place like mine, offering some hours, even if it's on volunteer basis, I'm happy to give a small stipend. Someone wants to do an internship in a specific area, just so that at least when the clients come, we still are able to provide the services, and then the burden of salaries also reduces for me. So that has been very helpful. Actually, my psychologist has remained more on like a volunteer basis. I just need to give her a transport stipend for when she comes. And then I have also actively now started doing most of the work within the office, not only seeing patients, but also I took over, some of the clerical work, some of the marketing work, and changed some of the regular jobs more into consultancies, where I would just ask the person to do for me a specific thing for a specific cost, and then we move on from there. Then also I've been doing a lot of reading and trying to look at other ways, to package the enterprise so that there's not only just one stream of of revenue. So I've been looking at consultancies, seen a few potentials, tried to make applications, and at some point I realized, okay, given my my expertise, I can't use all of it in my business. So at some point, I even tried to apply for jobs, and I'll tell you that was not very easy because already my mind was made up that I want to really focus on entrepreneurship. And when I'd get I got one job, but then there was the question of conflict of interest because of course, my employer is in health industry, just like myself, in the same kind of space. So that was also not going to work out very well. So because of that, now I decided to just immerse myself more into the business and focus more on looking at what partnerships I can do, what consultancies I can set up. I'm looking at setting up a training program that can hopefully, morph into a small revenue generating project for the business. So those are some of the things that I've been trying to do to navigate this. And yeah, I'd say also a positive attitude. Myself, actually having to talk to colleagues who are therapists and who are in business also, just so that I remain resilient and I don't give up, and I get tips from those who are already making it and those who are not giving up. So those are the things that I've been doing to cope with this situation.
Yeah, thank you, Daktari, for that detailed presentation, how you were able to navigate through those challenges. And I'm happy you've bounced back and you've gone back to your business. We'll go to Javan, and as we invite Javan for the same to tell us how he was able to navigate through the challenges. I can see we've, John Kimuli has joined us from Makueni. That is the 5th county that has joined us. Works for the national government with a program that deals with youth, women, and people with disability empowerment, training, and entrepreneurship. So John from Makueni, karibu sana. So Javan, tell us, how were you able to navigate through those challenges during that period?
Thank you very much, Daniel, and thank you, my other panelists, Mary and Jedidah. I think I relate so much with those experiences. So for me, it was more of when the client base were dwindling and then we didn't have opportunity for marketing. So I had to go and do more research on survival strategies for the pandemic. And I came across 3 main strategies. So I had to assess which one was most suited for our context and then use it. So the first strategy was that if you are in a business and then the market is disrupted, then you can use the same products, but use different channels. So for us, because we relied so much on community mobilization and physical meetings, we had to change from that to go more on online platforms. So we changed the channel of distribution, where we could now, you could contact us, everything online, then we send our masons to help with the construction. And also we did most of marketing online. So we retained the same product, but now use different channel to access the market. Then the second strategy was to use same infrastructure, but different products. So for us, there was, during that time, you see maybe people who are in the hotel industry were converting the hotels into grocery shops, people who are in, like many people are affected differently. So people are reinventing themselves. So for us, we realized that it was not going to be sustainable working with the same, as just operating fully as a social enterprise with little on the profit margin. So I decided to take online courses on occupational health and safety to be able to carry out assessment to organizations that needed to bring back their employees after when the economy reopened. So because my background is in public health, but my master's in MBA, so I was able to fit into that space between linking the public health measures with the business demands of the time. So through that, I was able to do the online courses on global health security, on occupational health and safety, on the WHO, COVID-19 workplace preparedness and measures and other stuff. And through that, I was able now to register another company now, the PAM Consultants, to be able to do all this work. And fortunately, we've been getting good clients, various organizations that we've been consulting with. And the field is presenting more opportunities as now the Minister of Health is seeking for means of ensuring that the border posts are secured, especially having those hand washing stations, having people, COVID-19 risk communication and all that. So we've been able to get partnership with the donor partners and Ministry of Health. And so we now work with communities to create awareness on COVID-19 and also to assess the preparedness, especially at the border post for East Africa. That's why I'm now in the Tok illicit border post to assess how the people are crossing the border post. Do they meet with the standards that are required, like do they have masks? What are the challenges in the supply chain? Do they have adequate hand washing stations? The port health staff, are they experiencing burnout that leads to mental health? And that just emphasizes the critical role that Jedida talked about, Mokeira talked about, that mental health issues have been raising. So I've put myself in that space, and we are now doing consultants in that area. So that's how we're able to reinvent ourselves to meet the demands of the crisis. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Javan. And now I can see you're flourishing. Yeah? Your business is flourishing. Before I open up for question and answer, I want as both Dr. Mokeira, Javan, and Mary, your advice on how other businesses represented here can be resilient during such moments, because what has come out clearly, it's how you guys were able to be resilient and never to give up, knowing that there's a better future, there's a better tomorrow. So what is your advice? What kept you going? What is that drive? Was it prayers? Was it just having a positive attitude? What was that helped you to be resilient, and how can other entrepreneurs be resilient in such moments? I'll start with Dr. Mokeira.
Thank you, Daniel. First, I want to say prayers make a big difference for some of us. And for me, that was one time that I found myself really praying and asking everyone that is close to me that we need to pray about this whole situation. So yes, that was one of the things. But the other thing was, it was a time of reflection for me. And we have this, it's a habit that is sort of cultivated during our training. You are actually expected to do personal reflection, just so that you assess whether the care you give to your patient as a family physician is the best care that you could have given. And I found this coming in very handy, and actually I've translated it to many parts of my life. And during this time and with my business, I found myself wondering, why am I really doing this business? And when I took time to keep thinking about that and refined that, the reason why I wanted to do this, first of all, is because I just realized that, okay, mental health is a big issue. And every time I treat someone, as long as mental health is an issue with them, if it's high blood pressure, we are in a vicious cycle. It will keep continuing. So when I refined that, and I also realized that, okay, I also want to do, to be my own employee. I want to be my own boss, my own employer and employee. How do you say that? Anyway, I wanted to run my own organization with certain values that I hold dear. That kept me going, having that clarity. It kept me always looking for ways to navigate, go around the challenges. And then the third thing is, I realized talking to people, communicating and learning, being open to learning is so important. Believe it or not, sometimes you'd think that you're an expert in your field. And then when you listen to another person speaking, you find that, oh, there's another perspective, there's another angle I could actually pick. So having that willingness to learn, that humility to listen to others, try out their ideas, be flexible enough to change things. The first idea I had for business, I think it has gone through so many changes during this period. that I cannot say that I stuck with that first one. So the flexibility also goes a long way. And just being aware of who you are and believing in yourself makes a big difference. Those for me are the things that contributed to the resilience that I've had. And I really believe that they're going to continue until I get to where I want to get to.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Dr. So you've told us prayers, whilst also learning from people. It's very important, and also being flexible. Thank you for that. Mary Mbide. So tell us some of the tips and advice you can give to other businesses on how they can be resilient and what worked for you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. One of the things I did, as Dr. has just said, is prayers. You have to pray. You have to ask God to give you a way out of this pandemic so that people can survive, because we have to eat, we have to, the life has to go on. So we really prayed. Another thing, remember, you started your business with passion. And when you have passion, means this is something you love. And this is something, even if you are woken up at night, you're still very, very, very happy and willing to do it. This is called passion. So even if doesn't matter how hard things are, how hard the situation is, let the passion drive you to your success. That is number one. And that is something which we kept working on, because we love what we do. We love travel, tours and travel. We have to look for a way to make it work. Another thing is networking. Look for these networking organizations. I joined Business Networking International. We call it BNI. I also joined the Global Business Roundtable. I also find myself in Global Network Investments. And these are the points where you will get people to network. Remember, when you have to grow, you have to look for people who want to grow. When you're in business, look for people and friends. Actually, make your circles of friendship very small towards the people who are in business. Because when you look at your life, you find that you'll be spending most of the life, your time with them. So circle them, reduce the friendships which does not add any value to your business or maybe family. It's either family or business at this point. So I entered in these groups, and when you go to these groups, you find that these people have a lot of ideas about business. Probably they are older than you. They'll give you so much advices about business. And these are the people who travel. You are not shocked to go to those joints. And the other one is United Kenya Club, just opposite the gate of St. Paul's Chapel. You find that you can even find a CEO of a KPLC there, or probably a procurement officer in a very big company like Tourism Board. These are the people who approve the tenders. What does that mean? Your tender will be approved. You will network with them. Then, of course, they'll give you small business to test your capability. And once they see you are a very capable person who delivers on time, that's already business on its own. You will not even struggle to get customers. So that is number one. Another one is marketing. Can we find that the only time we have is marketing? Everywhere you are talking about your business. Just have that passion. Talk about it anywhere, everywhere. Personally, I cannot, I'm so happy because every time I go for holiday, sometimes I go for holiday to network, because I know these are the joints I find people who travel. And when you explain to them, you show them what you do, you show them probably you show them the comments, the reviews of your clients on Google reviews. And they find, oh, let me, I've gotten a client. Another thing is what you do is social media. Are you on Twitter? Are you on TikTok? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? Just everywhere. WhatsApp status. Talk about your business. Tell people, let people know your business. You know, the more you talk about it, the more it clicks on your on people's minds. Because you find sometimes you find somebody has probably heard of Victorian travel today. Tomorrow, so many people have marketed. The next day, the same. So he will forget Victorian. But if you talk about it every day, it will stick to his mind, and he'll be like, oh, I want to travel. So I know somebody, Victorian travel. And the way he has marketed, she has marketed, it's like, this is a trusted company. Let me try it. So what I'm saying is, market, market, market. This is your business, and this is what you do. Nobody's going to give you salary at the end of the month. Your salary is your word of mouth. Talk about it. Another thing, don't oversell yourself. That is what I always tell entrepreneurs, because that is where some of us miss a lot. You talk so much about your business, and it's like you say so many, then people start, when they test you, they find that you cannot even do anything. When you know you cannot do something, don't say it. Just, it's better you say, I'm going to try, but I will do my best. But make sure that what you market is what you can do. Offer quality services. Make sure that what the client experiences from your services, he or she cannot experience it anywhere. Spice your services and products up. Make it better than others. What am I saying here? Like, for example, you find when I am doing a travel, what is that which can differentiate me from probably a big company like Bonfire? We do the same. What is this? What's my niche? What is this I'm doing special about them? You find probably personally, I can offer free transfer. When I give you a holiday, it's a group, and I'm giving you a holiday to probably Mombasa. You find like there is a Rosa, a 12, or even a small car, depending on the size of people, waiting for you there to be taken to the hotel. And during your time of going back, there is probably a Rosa, if it's a big group, coming for you to take you to the airport on time. That's additional value, which you cannot find it elsewhere. Yes, those are some of the things which has kept our business going, among so many others. I wish I had time to share more. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mary, for that detailed explanation. And you sounded like you already gone through a MBA program. Some of the things that you brought out, issues to do with delivering what you promise, differentiating strategy, whereby you find your niche, networking with the other people in the same ecosystem, passion of your business. I mean, it sounds like you are very, very, you understand what really that industry demands. So I'll go to Javan. Javan, you will tell us the same. What advice can you give other businesses on how they can be resilient in such moments, and what did you do personally to become resilient during that time? Karibu.
Thank you very much. I think it begins with the recognition that every crisis has an opportunity. So whenever you find yourself being thrown off balance, know that the ground is shifting, and it's a time you also shifted. So what you need to ask yourself is, what has changed? Like scanning your environment, what has really changed? What are your strengths and weaknesses? What are your opportunities? So do something more of a SWOT analysis so that you know how you can re-strategize and reposition yourself. And then ask yourself, what will it take for me now to command the future and navigate through the murky waters of the pandemic or whatever crisis that you are in? So do you need to acquire new skills? Like for me, I had to go and do some online courses on occupational health and safety in the light of COVID-19. Attended WHO COVID-19 classes. I had to do a course on global health security. All those skills are now making me valuable in my consultancy, because I'm uniquely placed to address the situation based on the emerging knowledge. So I ensure that any new knowledge that comes in, I'm on top of that to get it and be the first to apply it. Then apart from acquiring new skills, there was the idea of innovation. Sorry, I didn't mention this, but before we founded the company, I joined some partnership with Dr. Oscar Gan, one of the renowned entrepreneurs and innovators in Kenya. Our idea was to try to come up with a low-cost construction material that could help rural communities afford latrines and other buildings at affordable cost. So we came up with aircrete technology that uses air, water, soap, and cement to make something that's lightweight and waterproof. So during that pandemic, when business was slow, we were busy working with Dr. Oscar on this. And I'm glad to say that we won the iShow 2021, which is under a business that we're now registering known as Aqualu Ventures, that we are now working on the final details to be able to get that construction material. So during that time, we were also innovating and partnering. So being innovative and also getting right networks, especially I support Mary Wambua on that one, mentorship, partnership, and networking, because Dr. Oscar was able to link me up with the relevant people and also guide me on how the correct ratios for mixtures, which, because he also understands a lot of engineering, what types of design could be used to help this thing work out. So for me, 3 things made us navigate through. Number 1, look for the opportunity in the crisis. Number 2, ask yourself, what will it take for you to position yourself in that space? Number 3, do you have an opportunity to innovate? For instance, I've just been thinking through what Wambua, as Mary has been talking about ticketing. And I realized that the skills she has for air ticketing is the same skills we needed in the hospitals during the pandemic. Like, people were rushing for ICU beds and for ventilators. If she could use the same technology to map all the hospitals and know where is the ventilator and how, then people will be logging in there and finding where there's a ventilator and rushing there hospital there. The same way you book hotels, the same way you could be booking ventilators. So I was just thinking like that. So ability to use what you have in a different way, creativity and innovation, and then partnership and mentorship. For me, that's what has kept us afloat. And above all, the favor and the grace of God. Because you could be having all these things, but without God's favor, you are going nowhere. So that's what worked for us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, yes, the grace of God is very sufficient for every entrepreneur who is here. I also encourage you as a faith-based organization to always acknowledge God in everything that you do, regardless of your religious affiliation. So thank you very much. I can see we have still 8 minutes because we started 10 minutes past 11. So I'll open up now the floor for questions. If there is anyone who has a question, you can write it down in the chat, or you can just ask directly to our panelists. And as we finish, I'll also ask the panelists to give a parting shot and also market yourself. Mary has talked about marketing during each opportunity. Tell us where you are based, where your business is based, so that if any one of us who wants your services, you can always reach out to you, and you can also put your email address on the chat and your phone number if you don't mind. So I'll open up the floor now to any participant who has a direct question to any of the panelists, or you have a general question we can be able to address. So anyone who has a question?
Chairman, even a comment?
Yes, yeah, even a comment is welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman.
Yeah.
Because this is my first time to take a part in these discussions, I'll just quickly introduce myself. Can you hear me, Chairman?
Yes, you can hear you, yes.
Yeah, my name is Catherine Mutundu. I am a member of SESOC, and I'm a seasoned career trainer. And I train on wellness issues, which have been mentioned here, and I'm very happy about them. Issues of gender, issues of cooperative, mambo ya social wellness, and I'm a retired civil servant. And I like that. What affected me most being, if my entrepreneur was on awareness creation, what is it that affected me most during this COVID? One, it was cancellation of programs. That hit hard, the cancellation of programs. And even where we could have the programs on learning, there was fear at a personal level, organization level, even on my own self, the fear of what will happen. There was also the issue of the home being shaken by the COVID issue, in the sense that if we had this fear and anxiety and stress and depression at home, even if you are called for a small training of 15 people or 10 people, you didn't feel free to come. That affected us a lot and affected me a lot. What is it that I did during this time to overcome all this so that I don't go into anxiety and depression? was to update my notes. I did a lot of writing. I did a lot of one-to-one consultation. I went into the church and I could ask for a few minutes to talk to people. And I reached out to the community, of course, on free basis, and that affected me. The only good thing about me is I don't have many staff, so I didn't have to pay anybody. And that was an advantage on my part. Otherwise, I'm moving on well. Now I'm doing GBV and mental health. That's the awareness creation I'm creating. And I'll also be learning a Zoom very soon on the same, and I'll invite all of you. Thank you very much for this opportunity and for having taken part in this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Catherine always amazes me how the energy she has, even at her age. I mean,
yes,
you keep on going, and that is very encouraging, especially to people, to young people like Java.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else with a comment, question, or a parting shot? Yes, yes, yes. Ndugu Mutua, go ahead.
Hello, Daniel. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Really glad to be part of this, to be listening in. Personally, what I've done, I've taken the opportunity to learn about business and to learn about social media. And my comment, my tip at the moment, because a lot of, from what I've been hearing, a lot of people have the expertise. What we're missing is the connections, the jobs, what we can do. Something I've learned, and something that I think each one of us can do, especially if you've got a certain skill. Set up, brand yourself. Most of us, what we do is that we brand our businesses, but we forget to brand ourselves. Set up a website in your own name. Put in, if you've been writing articles, if you have pictures of what you've accomplished, put them there. Then secondly, the other thing is set up a Google My Business account. It's a free account on Google. Do one for your business. If you haven't already, then do one for yourself. Google My Business is like it's like a localized directory. It's a free one on it's a one-page website that Google offers, so that, say for instance, somebody is looking for, say like where Daniel is, someone is looking for a business coach in Karen. So Daniel's name comes up. That way you find, because what they're saying is that a lot of people are looking for help and advice through the internet. And because of COVID, in Africa, the number of internet users has really short, and those who used to use it are using it even more to look for people, to look for help. So that's something that I think we need to go to. So that's my comment.
Thank you very much, Ndugu Mutua. Is there another one, the last comment or question?
Yes.
Yes, Chola, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, for this forum, and thank you for the panelists. This is very informing and it's really uplifting. Now, all the three is comment, and maybe towards the end a question. All the three have mentioned something that is very critical in any of the business. First, know your business, know your team, and know your customers. Those are the three things that have struck me very much. I just wanted to say thank you for highlighting those, because if somebody does not know his or her business, does not know his team, and here team we are talking of maybe the employees and probably the other stakeholders and even the collaborators, and somebody doesn't know his or her customers, the business will not function very well. Can one of you elaborate a little bit more how you intertwine these three aspects of knowing the business, knowing your team, and knowing your customers? in a situation like this pandemic?
Thank you, Chola, for that question. It's open to any of the panelists. How were you able to juggle between the three aspects that he has talked about, the team, the idea, and what else?
Business, team, and customers.
Yeah, business team and customers. So that is open to any of the panelists. Feel free to speak.
Maybe I can share my thoughts, and I'm sure my colleagues, my fellow panelists are going also to add a thing or two. For me, knowing my business has been a journey. First, for me, I authored the idea, sat with it for a while, but then I realized soon that I needed to keep talking to people about my idea and refining it and sort of sounding it. So I started to look for people who are experts in my industry to just hear what they think about this idea. And also, I have a public health background, and one of the things that we do a lot in public health is constant evaluation and constant checking whether you're doing what you intend to do in order to achieve the objectives. So that constant evaluation has helped me to really get to know my business, get to know my idea, keep refining it. And as I said before, I believe there's still room for improvement, and I'll keep doing that until it gets to where I would like it to get. Then about my team, being a young business, and also I couldn't afford a big team. Actually, I've kept very close engagement with my team, starting from the point of recruitment, starting from the just constant meetings, regular check-ins. We talk, give each other feedback, and I keep sort of clarifying the vision so that everything everyone is doing, as long as they're part of my business, is moving towards what I set out at the beginning to achieve. And then when I notice a diversion, I keep trying to bring everyone back to where I would really like us to go, because at this point, I feel like I hold the vision for this organization. That might change, but for now, that is how it is. Then in terms of knowing my customers, I've also learned actually through this pandemic to be very much in contact with my clients. So it's not unusual for people to call the office phone and for me to be the one answering. I also do I do seek for feedback from my clients and always seek ideas. What more could we do? What do they feel about the service that we are giving? What other ideas do they have? So I've maintained that close communication and just being very open, not presenting the front of being the expert or the know-it-all, but just being the person who's open to hearing other perspectives and sharing opinions and being flexible to that. Those are some of the things that I've done. And I'm also happy to hear what other people have done, because I'd really like to learn more.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. The other panelists, if you have something to add on that. Yes, Javan.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mokera, for that. So on the same question, I'll just make a similar attempt. So knowing your business, I think before you start a business, you had a mission, you had a vision, there was a passion. And before you went down to register, you do all the necessary preliminaries and you research or need to know what we really, you write a business plan to get to know, will it really work? You do a business model canvas. So that just gives you the background. But realize that businesses evolve. You can't say that this is all I can know about my business. We know businesses that started as tissue paper companies, but ended up making electronics like Samsung. They started as tissue paper companies. So the idea is to have the strategic management units that is able to scan the environment for available opportunities, and then reorient yourself with the emerging opportunities so that you can evolve and keep on learning and knowing and growing. I think that's how I view business knowledge. It's not static, it is growing, it's evolving, and new opportunities come, old opportunities are lost, new networks are required and all that stuff. So the mindset is that of agile, like you are able to adapt and move with the situation, to innovate and to grow. The knowing your customers, it's the same. The strategy you use today to get a customer may not work tomorrow. If in the past you use newspapers, adverts to reach your customers, now others are getting cheaper through Facebook and Twitter and other social media platforms. So you need to know what has happened to your customers, their demographics, how old are they, what do they do, what is their economic status, what are their education, what are their gender. All that will help you know how to modify your product offerings. Like you can see in the motor vehicle industry, you realize that the Honda CRV really researched on women workers, women, professional women. So they designed their CRVs to attract that specific market. Nissan Juke did the same for young female professionals. So you need to keep on studying your customers, scanning the environment on what is changing and who are the people who are willing to pay for your services, so that you target them. So that's under knowing customers. On knowing your team, I think for you to know a team, there's need to clarify the difference between a group and a team. A group of people are just together, but a team must have shared values and goals and a mission. So meaning that when you are setting up, before even you recruit anybody, you must set up the vision clearly. Where are you going? And the mission, what will you be doing to get you there? And then based on that, you will list down the values that will ensure you get those mission and vision. So that during recruitment and onboarding process, you'll only pick staff who will fit into your vision. Like for us in PAM Research and Training Consultants, our vision was to ensure that we deliver efficient, excellent job within the shortest time possible. So when we are recruiting staff for our short-term consultancies, if you are not thorough, if you are not excellent, then you're not part of our team. If you cannot deliver a good report within the stipulated time, which we expect, then you'll not be part of our team. So in that, based on our vision and based on our values, we recruit and then now build friendship and networks within our team so that we work together as more of a family than a working group. So that's how we are attempting to address these issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javan, for that. I can see Chola dropped off. Yeah, I understand where Chola is coming from. Currently, he's putting up a state-of-art bakery shop, and he has already gotten all the modern equipment. So I know that's why he was asking that question of how he can be able to come up with an A team and how he can be, engage the customers and at the same time offer the product that those customers really need. So thank you very much for that. I've shared a link because the pandemic did not only affect the entrepreneurs, but also the investment space. Even angel investors was affected, and there's a good write-up that was written by 3 angel investing organizations, and it gives some highlights of some of the things that entrepreneurs or what investors were looking for those enterprises they wanted to fund during that period. So it's good for you to see what they really are looking for. And also there's the 10X Entrepreneur, which is an online open source that provides entrepreneurs with practical tools and ideas on surviving the pandemic. So you can look at those 2 sources at your own convenience. And as we wrap off, I would like just to give this opportunity to our panelists, just to give us 30 seconds parting shot, and we conclude our conversation today. So I'll start with Javan, then I'll go to Mary, and then I'll finish with Daktari. So Javan, your parting shot.
Thank you very much, members, for attending this meeting. It's been a good sharing our experiences. And I believe that as long as we do not give up, God is faithful and He will open for us ways, not only to survive, but to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mary Mbide.
Okay, thank you so much again. So my parting shot is understand your customer. There are these customers who, no matter what They always stand with you. No matter the pandemic, no matter when your business goes down, no matter what, these are customers who stick with you. Understand those customers, make them happy. Always remember their birthday gifts, their birthday, when they are having birthdays, when they are having anniversaries, make them feel happy because they make you feel happy in sticking with you. Make them feel special. Mark their special days in the year and look for a way to appreciate them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary. My birthday is in December 9th, so I'll reach out to you so that you can make me feel special. So, Daktari, your parting shot before I take it back to Matilda.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think Mary and Javan have summarized it well. Mine is just to add that you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. I always believe if you really understand why you're doing it, you will find ways. My parting shot.
Thank you very much for that. And I really appreciate everyone who has joined us today. Thank you, Chola, for tuning back. It has been a pleasure and we've really had very good conversation today. And I hope everyone who attended, at least you leave here with something that you'll apply to your business. So I've been your host. My name is Daniel. I know Catherine calls me chairman. The chairman is Peter Olo. I was the former chairman of CESOC. I think once a president, always a president. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. So I'd like to take the meeting back to Matilda to tell us the way forward, if she has any announcement for the upcoming events. And yes, Matilda, it is your time now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel, for everything. We want to thank all of you for attending this session. It has been very illuminating and very educative for all of us. So we just a quick brief of the upcoming events. We have the webinar. We have a webinar that is coming up. It is as a build-up to the Social Enterprise Day, which will happen in November, on the 18th of November, but the webinar will be next week on the 14th. So we have a few slots for people who would like to come in person. And so if you're interested, kindly send in your name. Most of you have my contact. Send in your name, then we will put you up as a participant in that webinar. Then we also will have 2 other sessions in the month of November. We have a pre-webinar series on the 4th of November, and then we will have our final iTalk on the 23rd of November. Then in between those 2 dates, we will now have our Social Enterprise Day, which will be a physical event here at Tangaza University College. And so we welcome all of you. We will be asking you to also participate in terms of bringing in your products to showcase what you're doing as a social enterprise. So we thank you all for joining us, and we hope that we will also see you. The webinar that is next week will be both physical and on Zoom. So we will also have that showcase. We will share the proceeds of this iTalk on YouTube, and we will share the link with you. For those who missed, you can share with them. And for those who just want to revisit what was discussed, you're most welcome to also just go through it later on. So karibuni sana, and thank you all for showing up. And yeah, so we are grateful. Thank you for everything, and have a great day, all of you.
Thank you, Matilda, and that's a very nice portrait behind you.
It's just me. Again, me, double me.
It's double you. So, thank you, and God bless.
Okay, God bless all of you. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye, thanks.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Martha.
Bye. See you.
Thank you, Louisa, for joining us.
Thank you.